What if the world told you you didn't belong? That your dreams were too bold, your strength too loud, your skin too dark? What if every court you stepped on whispered, "You'll never make it," and yet you dared to roar back? This is the real story of Serena Williams. Not just a tennis player, not just a champion, but a woman who turned pain into power, and power into history. You think you know her story? Think again. It began on the cracked cement courts of Compton, California, a place known more for its gang violence than grand slams. A father, Richard Williams, saw something the world couldn't. Two little girls holding tennis rackets bigger than their arms. Serena Jamaica Williams was the youngest. She was quiet but fierce. At just 3 years old, she was already swinging with power most grown women couldn't muster. Their father wasn't a tennis coach. He didn't have connections. But he had a 78-page plan he wrote before they were born. A vision to raise champions. Neighbors laughed, coaches ignored them. The sport was reserved for the country clubs, white, wealthy, and unwelcome to outsiders. Serena didn't care. Emotional beat. While other kids were watching cartoons, Serena was doing sprints with weights strapped to her ankles. She'd cry, fall, bleed, but she never quit. Why? Because even at 6, she understood. This wasn't just about tennis, it was about breaking chains. Venus Williams was the rising star first. Taller, older, graceful, Serena was the underdog, even in her own family story. At just 14, Serena turned pro. The media brushed her off as Venus's little sister. But behind the scenes, she was training like her life depended on it. In 1999, at just 17 years old, Serena faced world number 1. Won Martina Hingis in the U.S. Open final. The odds? Impossible. Hingis was polished, elite, everything Serena was not supposed to be. Serena played with raw power, fire, and precision. The world watched in shock. She won. It was the beginning of a revolution. A black girl from Compton had just conquered tennis's whitest stage, and she was just getting started. Between 2002 and 2003, Serena completed the Serena Slam, winning 4 Grand Slam titles in a row. But with glory came racism, criticism, and cruelty. Commentators focused on her body, her skin, her outfits. Headlines said she was too masculine, too aggressive, too much. Painful moment. In 2001 at Indian Wells, Serena was booed by thousands of fans. Racial slurs echoed in the crowd. Her own country turned its back on her. She skipped the tournament for 14 years. Yet she rose again and again. Emotion builds. Through surgeries, injuries, and losses, she trained harder. Her serve became the most feared weapon in women's tennis. Her record? Legendary. But there was still one thing she couldn't control: time. Her sister, Yetunde Price, was shot and killed in Compton. She wasn't just Serena's sister, she was her protector, her soul. Serena fell into a deep depression. She couldn't pick up a racket for months. The woman who faced champions couldn't face her grief. She wrote in her journal, "I don't want to play anymore. I just want to disappear." Everyone thought it was the end. But what the world didn't know was that Serena was learning to play not just with her strength, but with her spirit. In 2017, at 35 years old, Serena won the Australian Open, while 8 weeks pregnant. She had never looked more powerful and more human. Later that year, giving birth to her daughter Olympia nearly killed her. Serena suffered a pulmonary embolism and had multiple surgeries. For weeks, she couldn't walk. She couldn't even hold her child. But she looked at her daughter and whispered, "I will fight. I will rise." She returned to tennis months later, not as the same player, but as a mother with a mission. She reached 4 more Grand Slam finals. Did she win them? Number. But she showed the world. A woman's worth isn't measured in trophies. It's measured in resilience. With 23 Grand Slam titles, Serena is the greatest of all time. Yet she says her biggest victory is changing the conversation. She opened doors for girls who were told, "You don't belong here." She became a fashion icon, businesswoman, philanthropist, and mother. I've been called manly, angry, scary, and I've been called a legend. I embrace them all, because I am Serena. In 2022, she announced her evolution away from tennis. But Serena doesn't believe in goodbyes, because her story was never about the game. It was about transformation. As she waved goodbye to the roaring crowd in New York, tears fell. Not just hers, but from millions who saw their own battles in hers. She didn't just change the sport, she changed the world. To the woman watching this who feels too old to dream again, to the man who thinks his best days are behind him, to the fighter who's lost more than they've won. Remember the girl who was told no and said, "Watch me." Remember the mother who couldn't breathe, but came back swinging. Remember the legend who never quit, because her purpose was bigger than her pain. If this story moved you, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe to our channel. Comment your favorite Serena moment. Share this with someone who needs a reminder. It's never too late to start over, because like Serena, you were born to fight, and you were born to win.